If your lawn looking streaky, burnt, straw colored, or just not green at all after mowing or after an application, don't worry, it might not be dead, it might be something else. There is a lawn disease called Ascochyta Blight, I know that's a tough name to say, that shows up this time of year, late spring, early summer, when conditions are favorable, and it looks a lot like this right here. The good news here is that most lawns recover. The bad news is that in the short term, it may look bad, and there may be streaking, there may be tracking in it, but it will recover with time. What's up guys, it's Jordan here with Lawn Doctor. Today, we're on this lawn that we actually service. We're gonna be talking about what's happening with it, why it's happening, when it happens, how it's going to recover, and what you can do to try to prevent this in the future. Let's dive in. So what is Ascochyta blight? It's a turfgrass blight or a disease. It affects the mycelium of the grass blade, and a lot of times what happens is it affects that blade from the top down, so it looks straw colored or burnt colored, and most people a lot of time think it's dead or something got burned. What this disease does is it attacks the tips of the grass blades themselves. So if we get really close in here, we pull a tip out, we can tell it's Ascochyta blight because this tip looks perfectly burned. It's got that straw color to it. It's going top down. The grass blade is still intact, which means it's not dead. Just this top blade has to be cut off and then we're good. A lot of times mowing or growing the grass out can really just shorten the symptoms of this disease. You can do preventative fungicides as well, sometimes curative, but a lot of times once the disease is here, you really just gotta let it take its course and the grass to just grow it out essentially. A lot of times when this first disease is present, it'll look like maybe drought stress, it'll look like irrigation issues, it'll look like your mower lines or track lines right here. You can clearly see where our machine drove on this. And what's happening is the tires on our machine are picking up the mycelium of that disease and they're carrying it while it's driving along these lines. And so that's what's happening. Again, the tips of the blades are kind of burning down from that disease. So what's happening is each tip to create that pattern is just burning top down and it's just traveling on our tires. It can travel on tires a lot of times with water, and that's why you get the tracking on the lawn itself. This disease can happen overnight, like super fast. That's why it concerns a lot of people. A lot of times it usually does happen after an application because sometimes, again, we pick it up with our tires and we're moving it through the lawn. That way you can kind of see a more widespread effect than if it wasn't just in a single spot. Most homeowners think this is catastrophic. This isn't gonna recover. It needs to be fixed ASAP. A lot of times that's wrong. This disease will recover naturally by itself. It usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. But there are some things that you can do as the homeowner to try to prevent or protect yourself from this happening. Ascochyta blight mostly happens in the early spring to late summer. It usually happens when we can get extended wet periods in that springtime, followed by humid, dry conditions. That is the time the disease is most favorable, the most common, when you're gonna see it. We just had these conditions about a week ago here in Michigan, and that's why we're starting to see this disease present. The biggest mistake most people make is overreacting to this. They wanna do something right away, they wanna mess with it, they wanna fertilize it, they wanna seed, and a lot of times that can be good, but it also can be bad if amounts are applied incorrectly or at different times, especially if we just did an application ourselves. We also don't wanna do heavy nitrogen applications during extended stressful periods like we are getting right now, especially when the lawn is dry. One of the other biggest mistakes we see is that the mower blades are not sharp. So if you're not mowing this blade and cutting it at a very clean point, that'll leave the tip of the grass blade open. And when the tip of the blade is open like that, it can actually open it up to disease, and that mycelium will travel through that grass blade, and that's how the disease gets into the blades themselves. The other thing is mowing the grass too short. We don't want to mow the grass too short here. We want to mow it at least 3 inches. Common credit card, stick it in there. You want to be at least that, if not higher than that. We usually recommend 4 inches though, for best case scenarios. If your lawn is getting Ascochyta symptoms, don't worry. Again, it's fixable, it will go away, but here's what you can do in the short term. First things first, you want to do proper watering, right? We want that deep and frequent watering. If you need watering help, check out our last video. It talks all about watering and the best times to do that. Second, you want to make sure you're not cutting your lawn too short. Again, we just went over that with the credit card. That's the shortest. If anything, you want it higher than that, especially during dry, hot conditions. Another thing is you want to try to avoid mowing it during the outbreak conditions, because when you're mowing it, you're actually going to probably be picking it up again and moving it along the lines just like we did with the machine here. It's going to pick up that mycelium and it's going to take it with it. You want to focus on overall lawn health, right? So we want to focus on proper fertilization, proper time frames, correct rates. Healthy lawns recover much faster, so you want to make sure you're aerating it on an annual basis, make sure you're fertilizing it on an annual plan, so 4 to 6 applications a year, and you want to make sure it's getting the proper nutrients during that time as well. Another thing you want to focus on is thatch buildup. You want to make sure your thatch isn't too thick, because if the thatch is too thick, then our water, our nutrients are not going to get down to those grass blades, and it's going to become weak, and we're just wasting product at that point. We also want to improve water penetration and reduce stress overall, because a lot of times in the summer the lawns get stressed out. Again, water can be good, but too much water or too little can be very bad. So will this area recover? The answer, yes. Majority of the cases we see here, the lawn recovers almost 100% every single time. A lot of this damage you see here, this bleach straw colored tips, again, it's just attacking the tip. So it's that top inch of that grass blade. We can grab out multiple pieces here and we can clearly tell we have green on the bottom and all of our tips are that straw tan colored. So it looks burnt and looks dead, but once this grass grows up and then we cut that off, it'll look completely normal again. It won't stay around for very long. Again, 1 to 2 week is a recovery time frame for this. All right, guys. So in this video, we talked about Ascochyta leaf blight. What is it, how it happens, why it happens, or help it on its road to recovery. We're here on this lawn again with real damage. It happened in real time in the past week here in Michigan. We're gonna follow up with this lawn in 2 weeks and see what happens. Therefore, you can truly see if this recovers or not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, let us know if you have any questions. Until next time, see you later.